This is a tribute to Mzee Ole Sekento, who was my head teacher at PBS Kajiado, Primary Boarding School, Kajiado, in 1970 in Standard 3. In 1971 in Standard 3 repeating, and in 1972 Term 1 and Term 2 in Standard 4. The name is written with a K, but it is pronounced as though it has a G, Sekento. I have later come to learn that when I joined the school, 1970, he was 30 years. So it means that he became a headmaster when he was less than 30 years. That one is a feat. Even today, getting somebody to head a school at the tender age of 30 is almost impossible. I do not know why, and it is too late to know why. There were about 8 teachers, and I do not know whether we had a deputy head teacher, or if I later went to another school, Luandeti DEB, which had no deputy. So it is possible that he did not have a deputy. Of the 8 teachers, I remember him. I also remember a teacher who was called Mrs. Conchela. She was from Narok, from the famous Conchela family. What is unique about Mrs. Conchela? She was a teacher, but then she also acted as the school nurse. Whenever we were sick, we used to go for her. And when she could not attend us, she would refer us to Kajiado Hospital. The unique thing about Mrs. Conchela was that she used to read. She was literate in the medical handwriting. She could treat you, write what she has done in that jargon, and doctors would know what she has done. And when you came from the hospital, whatever they wrote, she could read and understand. Rumors had it that before she became, there was a rumor that she had attended an MTC and later attended a TTC. Well, time has gone. We may never know the truth. But she was good in both medical and teaching. Then we had Ole Pasha. Ole Pasha was from Isenya. The spelling is Isinya, but it is today a sub-county. But it is pronounced as Isenya. Ole Pasha was a relatively elder than all the teachers. He was so good in the subjects that he taught, one being CRE. He is the first teacher I ever saw who went to class without notes, and he would teach you off-head. We are told that he had taught the same subjects, the same place, for a long time, that he knew everything off-head. I remember after teaching things off-head, he would then go to the blackboard and start writing what he had taught us. Ole Sekento If you look at most of prominent people from Kajiado were taught by Ole Sekento. Next to our school, there is what today is called Kajiado High School. During our time, the school was called OSS, Kajiado Secondary School. Now, Kajiado Secondary School, there were students there, we used to admire them. Imagine seeing somebody with a blazer. Imagine seeing somebody on the blazer's coat, he has 3 biro pens. One is red, one is black, and one is blue. In primary school, being found with a biro pen was bad, especially a red one. We used to use fountain pens called Youth. Now, among students from Kajiado Secondary School who used to visit Ole Sekento was one Kaisere, Joseph Kaisere. Kaisere later rose to become a general. Kaisere later rose to be a member of parliament, stroke assistant minister, and Kaisere rose to be a cabinet secretary, one of the best cabinet secretaries. What people don't know is that there is a lesson that is taught in disciplined forces called fieldcraft. How an askari can perform in the wilderness. I can dare say without any sense of contradiction that Joseph Ole Kaisere was and still is the best fieldcraft teacher Kenya will ever produce. Kaisere used to visit Ole Sekento. Imagine being a standard 3 kid or even standard 4. You see a form 4 student coming, going to the headmaster's place talking. We used to watch from afar. Actually, when Kaisere died, a brother to Mwalimu Ole Sekento, a brother of his called Moses Ole Sekento, was assigned the duty of being the funeral chairman. So both Ole Sekento and Ole Kaisere were from a place called Il-Bisil. Il-Bisil is approximately half the distance between Kajiado and Namanga. After leaving Kajiado PBS primary boarding school, I went to 2 other primary schools. Went to Luandeti DEB for 1 term. From Luandeti DEB, I went to Mbagathi, where I studied from standard 5 up to 7. Then Nairobi Technical for my O-levels and Bungoma Boys for my advanced level. Then what happened is that I left Bungoma in 1981. Shortly after I had left Bungoma, Ole Sekento, shortly after I left Bungoma High School, Ole Sekento was posted to Bungoma as a staffing officer in the TSC. That was 1983. In 1984, we were with Ole Kaisere in Kacheliba during the Operation Nyundo, the operation that Pokots called Lotr. Fare thee well, Mwalimu. Fare thee well, Ole Sekento.